a modern-day Ruth and Boaz story. In the year 2025, times were hard. Jobs were scarce, the cost of living was high, and families everywhere felt the squeeze of an uncertain world. Naomi had lost her husband years earlier, and then her 2 sons passed away as well. One of her daughters-in-law decided to start over elsewhere, but Ruth, the other, made a firm choice. Where you go, I'll go. Where you live, I'll live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. So Ruth left behind her homeland, her friends, and her comfort to care for Naomi. They moved into a small apartment in a struggling neighborhood. Naomi had very little to her name, and Ruth had no network, no job, and no guarantees. But she had determination and faith. One day, Ruth heard that a local community food bank was allowing people to volunteer in exchange for groceries. She signed up, working long hours, bagging and sorting donations. She didn't complain. She just kept showing up, humble and grateful for the opportunity. That's where she met Boaz. He was a respected business owner who supported the food bank through donations and volunteering his own time. He noticed Ruth working harder than everyone else, even though she wasn't being paid. He asked the supervisors, "Who is she? She doesn't seem like the others." They explained Ruth's story, how she chose to care for Naomi, even when she could have gone back to her own family and lived more comfortably. Boaz was moved. He walked over to Ruth one afternoon and said, "Don't worry about running out of groceries. I'll make sure you and Naomi have enough. And don't be afraid, this community is a safe place for you." From then on, Boaz quietly ensured that Ruth and Naomi always had more than enough food, even slipping in a little extra to bless them. Later, Naomi, wise and discerning, encouraged Ruth to let Boaz know she saw him as more than just a provider, someone she respected and admired. Ruth did so humbly, not with entitlement, but with grace. Boaz, being an honorable man, didn't take advantage of her vulnerability. Instead, he went through all the right steps, making sure everything was done openly and fairly. Eventually, he and Ruth married, and together they built a strong family rooted in faith, generosity, and love. Their story didn't just bless them, it left a legacy. From their line, generations later, came leaders who shaped nations. Message for today, 2025. The story of Ruth and Boaz reminds us that faithfulness, humility, and integrity never go out of style, even in 2025. Ruth teaches us that loyalty, hard work, and trust in God can open doors when everything else looks uncertain. She didn't chase quick success. She chose character over comfort. Boaz teaches us that kindness, integrity, and protection of the vulnerable matter deeply. In a world where many use power for selfish gain, Boaz used his influence to bless others. Together, their story shows that when people honor God and live with integrity, God weaves their faithfulness into a much bigger plan. In a time where many feel overlooked, struggling, or uncertain about the future, Ruth and Boaz remind us that God sees. He rewards, creates beauty, writes love stories,